Hey guys, it's Triple Laird here, and welcome back to this week's edition of Nimera Talk. Now, of course, there is a big update to channels, so we'll check out all the details on that. As well, we'll look into the KYC series to see what Andrew's answer is to a user question asking about combining all of the different exchange accounts and channels and all these different accounts into one to make things a lot simpler. But let's not delay anymore, and let's get started. So this week, let's start out with the channels update. Now, of course, here I have iOS to test it with, but I'll also be grabbing an Android phone a little bit later. We might throw it in next week, and I'll test out how things are going on the Android side of the update. But of course, channels is the multi-currency wallet and exchanger tool with chat functionality that is now being expanded. So let's dive over and take a look at what's going on with that. So first things first, let's check out the update in the App Store. So right now we have it right there for 2.17.0. New simplified sign up without waiting for the wallet to be registered on the blockchain. Now that's going to make it a lot easier for people just to get in and get going with the app, and that should cause some good retention there. It says you have the ability to register for the chat without mobile number verification. That's big as well. This whole thing about getting rid of all of these steps for sign up, that is a big deal. Support for new card and e-money providers. That's very important. Those on-ramps and off-ramps. Rewards for passing the KYC. Expandability to verify email. Redesigned dashboard and added group chats. And the group chats, I believe, are going to be really big for the business side too. So let's jump into the app itself. So here we go. Launching channels. App comes up right away. You'll understand if I blank out a few of these things on here for my own personal stuff. But yeah, it's a nice, really easy to use dashboard here. It has the little metrics on the top that show all the features. And of course, you can click on one in order to see more details as well. And you could also kind of slide through all the different cards to do with that, that particular feature. So this is a really nice way to kind of introduce people to the app and how each of the sub features work. Now, on the main page, you have a couple of buttons that are familiar. You have your account stuff at the top, and then you also have a button that just allows you to quickly show your address so somebody can send you funds. Now, if you go down to receive, you can actually receive multiple currencies on that and exchange within the same mechanism there. There's also a top-off spot depending on the currency you've picked. So you can go over and say, if you want to deposit some fiat, you can go to Euro and then do a deposit there. Now, a couple methods here. If you're going to use a SEPA transfer, of course, you're going to have to pass that KYC, and there would be a commission for that as well. Now, besides that, on the main page, we have the exchange transactions, basically just a list of all your transactions. You can invite friends. If you go to more, there's a few different spots that they have here for all of the extended stuff that they're going to be releasing in the future. Now, below that, there's a simple exchange tab that just allows you to change quickly before, say, Bitcoin and Euro. Now, of course, when you select a currency right there to exchange, it's going to give you the rate of conversion right below, and you could proceed off to the exchange page. You can choose the exact amount, and then it's going to show you the exact amount that you're going to get and vice versa. So it's very, very easy to see and use the exchanger on channels all now from the main page. Now, one thing to note here is almost everything is accessible from the main page, and that is really the ease of use with this. Now, of course, we do have the chat feature. I use this, so for privacy's sake, I'm not going to dive into it. The chats now, you're able to have group chats, and as well in the wallet side of things, you're able to display things a little bit differently there. So yeah, enjoy the new version of channels. So again, guys, for a full review, I'll be able to go through all the menus and stuff like that, but because I'm using my own personal phone in that video, I have to respect my privacy and those who I chat with and everything like that. I'm sure that you guys understand, but what I'll do is an actual review of this coming up soon on my Android phone, because I have channels on there that doesn't have anything. We could go and dig through all the menus. We can even delete it and bring it back up and try to go through the setup of it right from the start. But overall, good update, feels very, very smooth and very easy to use. So now, continuing the KYC series, we're going to go into question number 2 that we had with the Nimera CEO, Andrew Zamin. And that question basically asked, if we have all of these different accounts on the exchange and on channels and all of that, can all of these accounts be tied into one to make the KYC process a little bit easier? And this is what Andrew said. So he starts out here by basically saying that they have already kind of unified their accounts on the back end, but they have not done this on the front end for one main reason. Quote Andrew, he says, it is not just the unification of multi-broker and channels. If you notice, in September we split Excudo and Nimera. Later I'll explain what the main idea behind that was. In the near future, it will be implemented into the live version while we're covering the legal questions. So basically they've done this on the back end, but they have to solve all of the legal reasons that they have to look into first before releasing it on the live main version. Andrew goes on to say, we face criticism due to the KYC policies that they had. People were saying it was too strict, it was too hard to sign up, there was too much going on. And of course, they were following the laws that they had to within Estonia where the company is registered. Andrew also says here that it's not their idea to put in all of these strong KYCs, but the EU regulator that they're operating under, they make them integrate that way. Otherwise, the banks or payment systems will not work with us. Of course, they have to follow the law within that regulation body. So his solution is just to make it a lot easier for users when KYC is required, and on the other side of it, to use multi-broker and channels with only a single KYC for one of those platforms back and forth. And then he ends the question by saying, in Nimera, we put the emphasis on the decentralized approach. We do not use fiat. We do not use market instruments that imply regulations. So Excudo becomes a solution for a more classic market that needs to be regulated, and Nimera is the spot where you can go where regulation is minimized. So overall, I get what they're doing here. They want to appeal to both corporate clients and people who need a regulated body and people who want decentralized free use of cryptocurrency and exchange functions without having to do all of the sign up or reveal too much of their personal information. And both are understandable case points here. And that was the whole entire premise behind separating Excudo services and Nimera services. So in the end, I don't think that there will be one catch-all account for everything, but I do think that they will minimize the amounts of accounts needed and the KYC that goes with each one. We're already seeing that happen throughout all of the products and services within the ecosystem. So like I said in last week's episode, guys, I'm not going to do the traditional market news within these episodes until all of the trading for Nion gets going and the markets are back to usual. I know we're in a moment of transition, but the team is working to get that going ASAP, and I will continue to implore them to do that as soon as possible, as that is the healthiest way to get everything back going on all the projects and have everything back to being tradable. But let's look quickly at the market news. Now, looking at the last 7 days, we have some big red all across the board behind me here. But of course, BTC is actually taking not too hard of a hit here, only down 3% compared to Ethereum's 7%. So we see these large dramatic shifts happening where during the bull run, we have Ethereum jumping even ahead of BTC. And then during the dips, we have, of course, Ethereum going down even further. What this is showing us is there is a little bit of stability that is coming to the BTC market, and that is an excellent thing where these flexes happen back and forth a little bit less than the extremes that we've seen here in the past. Now, of course, with BTC, we got down as low as about 30 grand. I think it dipped to 29 something for a moment and up all the way to 36 USD. So still some huge flexes there over this month, but right now, at least in the last 7 days, things are tightening up and getting a bit more consistent. Well, guys, that is all I have for you this week. Again, we'll be doing some testing on the Android side of channels, and we'll go dig deep through the app next week. We'll do a fresh sign up and everything like that, and we'll be continuing on with the AMA series. I hope you all have an awesome week. Thank you so much for watching. For Nimera Talk, I'm Triple A.